afuna the show abange host. Awukana zokhala guest awawa. Awukana zokhala guest. Chifukwa yani ngoma. Chifukwa yani mukana khala guest.
Okay, I feel like
friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show.
A friend of the show who's
leading the show. Oh man.
Yeah.
About that.
I think I was asked that already.
But you know what I say?
Yes.
You remember last week we said we've got a national responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, we're not here because of someone.
Yeah.
But I feel like we are here because of this nation.
Yeah.
We were born here.
Yeah.
We were raised here. Mwina zatu makalapo gwina gwagi.
Mpanje throughout.
You get it, eh? If your passport yatu ndiyo sadinda. We've got the passport. It means we would have been here.
Yeah.
You get it, eh? Yeah. And you know what that means.
Yeah.
We are like, what should I say? We are so indebted to this nation that we want to see this nation going Benabake.
Yeah.
You get it, eh? So we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
And we'll be talking about these things.
We'll talk about it until, or even if it means could we die, but at least we'll know what change is always a perception. I feel like what change doesn't come until there is new information, and that's what we are doing.
Yeah, you're right. I love that.
Change today, but we'll know what definitely.
Yeah, I love that.
The day is coming. Change is what?
Yeah.
Coming, because every change we have seen in the world, in history, it was always driven from an idea.
Yes, a perspective. Yeah, you're right. I love that because you know what? Sometimes when you're doing something, you're like,
yes,
you get it, eh?
Yeah,
and then you feel sometimes like demoralized. I'm not doing anything.
I'm not doing anything.
But I'm telling you, I say, I've gotten feedback that no, you know what? I think the way I was seeing that, it's not the way that I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah.
Which means we're trying to move something, we're trying to change something.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it's kind of it gives satisfaction at a certain point.
Yeah.
I think we're doing something right, you know. But on the other hand, I don't think we can please everybody.
That's the thing. I think change has never been a comfortable thing.
Yeah.
As humans, things are gonna get better. If today you want to start gym with up, your body is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Because your body has to accommodate new information, new urgent physicalities.
Yeah.
So it's the same even with the country.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to rock the boat.
You're right.
So now when we come in, you become now a catalyst of you know what, things are not supposed to be like this. And sometimes comment section people are saying you are wrong. Okay, fine. We may be wrong, maybe from where we are seeing, because
it's all about perspective. Yeah, it's all about where you're standing.
This one brings the perspective. That's when we bring in my expertise.
And I don't think we say whatever we are saying here it's final. It's final. No,
we are giving our
exactly from where we are standing.
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of people would be like, I know he didn't want to have boss up. They didn't want to.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I've tried that we should run away from is like a platform where we'll be driving misinformation.
Yeah.
You get it, eh?
And at the end of the day, we are open to corrections.
Yes.
We are open to have people to come and say, you
exactly.
Know what?
Yeah.
And I think we are like, oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because we trying to run away from driving agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the propaganda.
Yeah, but we want to have our own an independent saying. Okay, this is what we think this is all about.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, when you've got a different opinion on that, you should not stone us.
Yeah.
Okay? What you can do is, according to ABCDs, okay? Because I feel like a lot of times when we're talking about these issues, we've done our own research.
It's public knowledge.
It's public knowledge, it's public information that is out
so
there.
I think no clarification.
Yeah.
ABCDs.
Yeah.
ABCDs. ABCDs like it.
But otherwise, guys, we love the engagement.
Yeah.
We love the engagement. This is how I've ambushed Wishes, because Wishes thought he's gonna host this show.
No,
and I'm gonna be his guest. So I've ambushed him.
Okay,
he is my guest today.
Okay, here's the thing. The first time I came to Emergency,
Yeah.
I think it's different from people experiencing the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
I think I saw the heart you have for Malawi. You understand? I think that's one of the reasons that I would try and I would instigate.
Yeah.
Because
I get that.
it wasn't necessarily good I want to host, but
Yeah.
that information, because
I
you
get
meet
it.
somebody else, I'm passionate about change of Malawi.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I love how Henmeg analyzes. I think I was telling Geoff the other day, I was like, Henry has a passion for Malawi. You understand? So every time I come to Emergency, there's something that I want to learn about Malawi.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I think throughout the week, there's been things.
There's been a lot. I mean, there's been a lot. And I have to be honest with you. I think, okay, guys, so Wishes is always some brains in the Majors meeting behind the camera. But today you're going to see him
I'm
in
a
the
present
Majors
friend.
meeting. You're a present friend. Now, Wishes Ngozo now is not like behind the camera. Right now, he's in front of that camera. And you're gonna see him. People sees you like on the comment lounge, hit or miss. But now this is like your first time appearing on the Emergency show,
debut here
in the Emergency meeting. And guys, a lot is happening. And okay, so recently. We've started. I mean, this is a major meeting. Maybe you think we've not started. This is a major meeting, and we are here, as we were saying, that we have this national responsibility, and that is to talk about the issues that are here in Malawi and what we think can be the right way to help in the situation. Njolenga inena kuti Malawi should be a better place, a safe place for everybody. It's been a year now since the country mourned the vice president of this republic and the 9 others, I mean, 8 or 9 others that were in that plane crash. I say a lot from that day has been said. There was investigation in inachitika kulankhula bena anapanga MTF, and then there was like commission of inquiry, and then magaizi aku German na BFU anazatrusa like a preliminary report. It was out there, and then now we have the final report that they have released. I mean, yesterday, about the plane crash. I just want you to know, I've had different people in this show that have shared their sentiments or their belief on what happened on that particular day, what has happened, or what's wrong with everything. But I think I've never heard from you here on what you think, what has happened, or what was the problem, or what's the problem, why it happened, or what do you think, or how have you been taking this news and everything that has been happening?
Okay, I think the first thing I would say would be it's a sad thing.
It is.
Losing somebody in that way. I don't think that's a way I would want to see myself or somebody I love. So that's a very sad
thing. I failed to have an emergency meeting. We were called here to do the emergency meeting. And I was like...
politics, whatever agenda, you're like, that's a side.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
But I think, to me, it draws back not only at the current situation at hand. I think you even go back to the late Bingo Mtadi. You always see Malawi. I think, what can we say? We are reactive to situations.
We are.
And that's what you would see that document. These are necessities. And also considering the fact that you are carrying the second most important person in Malawi. So if
MG2.
Yes, MG2. So if his safety can be at risk with incompetence like that, how many things in Malawi are at risk like that?
Is there anything that is safe? That would be the question that we should
That would be
ask,
the question, because let's put aside propaganda. But
yeah.
you discover what now in Malawi something has to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because in a system like this, Muntu Hamini the MG2, who is supposed to be one of the most protected citizens of the country, is exposed like that.
Yeah.
That already shows good there is a bleach now militarily in militia, in police, and even in the security at large.
Yeah, true. Because you know what? Most of the times, I think there are so many conspiracies. I think as I've already said, that we've not built this platform that we can be entertaining misinformation or conspiracy. Simply because nkhani zina zimakhaza zoti anthu tilibe nazo umboni kuti zikhoza kunena kuti zachoka pati zimene mukudziyambazi. You know, people like come up with so much to say kuti ichi chinachitika chifukwa choti amafuna ichi nchani. But I think for me, as it has always been going into the technicality of this thing. We lost the vice president. It was a sad moment for like this country. You know, it was a sad moment, and then but at the end of the day, we have to look into the system, you know, the aftermath of everything, and then be like, okay, what can we do better? You know, we've been discussing here, what can we do better? I want us to, okay, since it's a report, so I wanted us to like go through like some important parts in the report, you know, like what they are said, like causes of the flight, and maybe what they have said as recommendations, and maybe we can also talk about those kind of recommendations. Okay, what is it that we can do? Okay, so point 3.2, it says about causes. The accident occurred because the crew flew into the instrument meteorological conditions during flight under visual flight rules, and the aircraft collided with the ascending terrain. The following contributed to the accident. The decision to continue the flight to the destination at low altitude, I think that's the right way, in marginal weather conditions, lack of situation awareness, and inadequate pre-flight preparation. I think that is just saying it's not going deep into the technicality, but just what happened. It might be the causes of the crash. You get it? I don't know how you're seeing that, because I think it speaks a lot about the people and maybe how the weather was like, something like that.
I think Chikangawa side weather has always been harsh.
Yeah, we know that.
That's a basic.
We know that.
Komano, I think to me, my concern still drops down to the practicality of the things that we are using, the vehicles that we are using, the airplane that we are using. How is it? Because that is into so situation in bad like that. The plane is well equipped to navigate certain situations like that. And I think, you know, these guys, for them to combat that situation, they thought, good, let's fly lower. And in flying lower, they made their demise. Komano mambano kuzori ngini zajitika babazi. If Malawi is readily available for anything, zina zake zikhoza kupeweka
kwambiri,
because ngozi zacho nchizoma
kwambiri. Kwambiri.
Okay, we were not supposed to fly low. Why? Because it's kumalo kuti kuli mitengo kuli jani, so anything can happen. Mukoza kumana ndika Phiri, mukoza kumana ndika whatever it is. You have been in Chikangawa before. It's that harsh.
Because I think also you have to, there were like some other things that were like said would be, but zinthu zina zoti zimayenera kukhala mu ndege momwe
mulibe.
Okay, for example atika ma recordings ena ake amene anachitika nthawi ina yake munalibemo. So like it's difficult even to complete the story, because
what actually happened,
what was the communication, like amalankhula na zichani. You get it? And then it means in the absence of that recording, the message can be distorted. We know can stand up today and
speculate and just say whatever.
I think you know, you remember after one of those people that were like in contact with someone who was in a plane said one of them said turbulences, right? And then you okay, we've got that information. But can we tingamudalire muntu amene akunenayo?
Everyone else can have their own.
Everyone else can like drive something, you know. But if we had like direct information, direct recordings from the plane, it means it was just a matter of playing. Okay, what were the communications all about? But you can see as we were saying, ndege yoti anyamula muntu wankulu like that, mulibe ma facilities ngati amene kunali atika ya maswitch yenota anaonongeka 2004, but very very much important in as far as a plane is concerned. And then you tend to wonder, okay, the question, are we safe?
Okay,
is there anything that is
I think that's where it drives me at. Apart from the loss of lives, but you're like, you know, it's easy even to abduct Ojene VP in Malawi.
It is, man,
because you can hijack the plane and run away with it.
What's I pay that no trace. Exactly, there's also that because they're saying kupeza kunavuda because palibepo chinthu chimene inalibe chinthu chimene chikhoza umapanga kupanga attracted exactly.
So it tells you kuti somebody can go hijack an airplane ku Malawi ndikuthawa nayo. It doesn't even show so are we secure? Because these are people that are supposed to be highly secure.
We're not safe. I think we've been talking about that. I think Mark always said, you know, even in the health system or even emergency response, our emergency response man, I say kunoko china chake uchitika kunoko fire ibwere kunoko. Kuti ya fire abwere kunoko adzathimise moto. It means unena kuti abwera adzipeza chita poira kale, you know, even in mambla somwewa a lot of things. So I think in concluding this, for me, what I can say is technically these reports and everything just exposed how porous we are, how our systems are. They're not there to help us.
They're just there as basi.
Kuti pangone kuti pali china chake. You get it?
And okay, and this is an unrelated issue. It never stops to amaze me or even allow traffic. They are not really after safety. They will just unaenda license ulibe atipatseke kake kapena ndimwa just pay.
No, but I think on that one I say, you know, I've always have like a different perspective or take.
Yes,
you know, because I've always said would even us people we contribute to those problems.
Undimve. I understand good to us it's a norm. Komano you should understand good malamulo ajati maphwanya masewaje. They are put there to protect us. You understand? So ndege ngati izizi inalibe it was not supposed
to fly. It wasn't supposed to be
that's my point. There are certain cars we know maneno ndangodula jala ndo ndenda lose. I'm like no. Ngati moto isi when
it's not the GR that
you get my point.
Exactly.
As much as this is the normal thing. Komano there are certain things that are not supposed to be operational.
Of course,
buildings that are not supposed to be inhabited. Until something like this happens, we are like,
I think kuna tutuka report ine yake yoti building ija but then it has collapsed. It has killed a lot of people.
It takes a big man wadwala BP ya mushuta akapita kusento kuja ndipo mbele makamba kuzindoti oxygen kulibe mapipe akura napangati. You get the point.
It has been a problem since last year. Authorities are being like this.
So it's across the board.
It's everywhere.
In every sector, and it's time we revise that.
It's everywhere.
Tragedies like this can be avoided.
I think throughout, I think my take has always been as sad as it was that we lost a man of that caliber. And we can't deny the fact that people, especially from the UTM, have not been able to accept whatever that happened. You get it, and we understand them. From where I
where you stand.
You know, when you lose someone and someone is trying to explain for you to understand, it's always difficult to make sense. And the best thing I think you can do is like understand them and let them express their feeling,
their grief.
Like because kunabwera report yoyamba, kunabwera report ya chiwiri, kunabwera commission of inquiry, kena kukabwera report, but you can see a lot of Malawians, some Malawians, I cannot say every Malawian because I think they look at it as like just an accident, you know, they look at it different takes, and then even the family and also maybe the UTM family will look at it based on his and they will see this as and what they are looking for is not addressed. You get it, But I think it's sad, but I don't think people who doesn't receive this will take or will receive one day what they want to receive.
No, they will not. I think it was easy. You know, would have had a close relative to me that is sick, and the situation was that good. I think it took me time.
Exactly.
You get my point.
I get it.
And it happens. So medically they can explain.
You want an explanation outside the medical.
you get you get.
Right.
I think
love
that's
that point.
the conspiracy around this. You get to see what Chidima had political whatever it is. So equals according, it's an incompetent issue. Everyone else will have their take, and they are justified to have that opinion.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, and there've been promises by some presidential aspirants. Could I eat Kazalo and Mboma? We'll dig deep into this and find out what killed our vice president and all that. I mean, yeah, we welcome that. I think, like I for one, like I still believe good if there's something that was never told. No, it's welcome. If you say could you know something or you do something different to make sure that people understand, as long as it's the truth of the matter that happened, which I believe could. I don't think there will be someone who holds the truth. Other than maybe God himself. So it's something that we will look forward to. But as it stands, the report is out there. And the one thing that I know is a lot of Malawians will not read it, but will still say something.
I heard something, and then I would have, if you want to hide something from a black man, hide it in a book. So there is so much documentation that you can pull. At the end of the day, it boils back to what we are saying. This tragedy showed us as a country. Number one, our militia is exposed. Because if guys could not conduct a search, Madzulo, it tells you
it exposes you.
It shows us we are really outdated. Or even we are not ready.
We're not ready for that.
And my politicians, whatever it is, I think as much as these are key issues.
Very important issues. Very important.
Health,
very important.
How secure are we? How secure are our bodies? How secure are the cars that we are getting in? The machinery. You get see. You discover there's so much things.
There's so much.
And we can do something good.
Exactly.
There are a lot of policies we can implement. Some of these have to be tightened.
Yeah, because when you look at it, even for the search team to be successful, it took the help from other people like Zambians. Send their like plane in Mozambique, Tanzania. They were like, okay, coming in. It means they know Malawi, they don't have this kind of things.
Don't.
Which means if they want to attack us in Manjira, they can.
It's always that.
It exposed us. It exposed us a lot. And that's I don't like what happened because it exposed us.
Malawi.
Floods. Where we were not able to reach out to people.
And weirdly, even Andrew personally,
exactly.
Us as a nation, as a
country, we can't have our own.
And if you look deep into Malawi, as much as we are failing to do these things, there's so much money that is being swindled, and you're like, don't you think about tomorrow?
True.
inagambidwa episode inake makhandi budget innovation kumasiti makhandi budget
man
Zambia is not
true
and that's a very good
ndikuti ndegezo kungogula koma olopanda budget yajani ya maintenance. I think there's a same thing with the magalimoto akuboma. You know kuti magalimoto ena ake ma driver amapanga oka service like Oka because they want like a trip. They know good if my car is not serviced, I'm not gonna be on the next trip.
You see that it's una again in down in maona I think magamu ra police chikruza chita ine kuyangana tela ine kusati ya
omweo akalabansewo azikukusa tela lako
iwe kuyangana yao.
I mean, is this you know, I know there are people that who as susa mupese information. I'm telling you, I've worked with an organization that was partnering with the government. My driver akuboma kumachito dipesa amene mukamasintatu materiala mutitani mutigaire amene wafuna materiala ambulance. I'm telling you things that I've experienced. You know, my driver kumachito panga line up mukasintatu ulendo uno mutigaire. You know, and they want to take material out organization ya Gwesanchido driver wadandaula kuri material angata. Then you want to take those tires mukaike pa ambulance.
So imagine that ambulance zabezeka kuti a minister ya shura ya rani imene available nditi ndi imene jai. So imakandenga minister jamba utama jandi kupulika. Ambulance
you see
that now we ngati dziko lidzambo talodzana tamangaza kuza but you discover kuti all along tasirira vuto lina lake.
So you can have cars as long as you have the ambulances, you don't care about the maintenance.
You're like bola
chikuyenda kusokolo, which is sad. I think, but one thing that I and maybe a lot of Malawians do worry about maybe that tragedy is it changed the political landscape. I mean, people were looking forward to what will happen in 2025, like kusakhala zotani, and after that death, I mean, like everything changed. I know people would try to like personalize or drive the legacy and all that, but I'm telling you, that man was just something else. I mean, he was something else. A lot of people, a lot of youth looked up to but it changed everything. And as we're going into elections, I think there's also a lot of things that are happening. Kwa kalaguli kudanda ulidwa, azipani zosusa kudandaula ameki kuti mwina zinthu sakuzendesa bwino. There's been issues about smartmatic.
Okay, and it's the same thing. What if it's why not conversation yake ndio mwezi kuti system ya Gugu the machine Mungu yuzo ndio like
you get it. So recently my guys zipani zosusa ndi mabungu ena anapempha kuti no ameki ife tifuna kuti tipange audit anthu amene ali mu system amene alembedwa mu system yanu. We want to audit kuti zinthu zikuenda bwanji. And recently ameka kuoneka kuti atani ameka akuti akana. But I want to read kuti we should have like a background. Okay, kuti coding honey, what was it all about, and it went a bunch, because we want to understand. I think a lot of people were like, no, it's important, but then let's see. Okay, so it says kuti the Malawi Electoral Commission has rejected a joint proposal from 5 opposition parties, Afodi, DPP, UDF-PP, and UTM, who had demanded an independent audit of the country's election management system. In a letter dated 6 June, signed by Chairperson Justice Anna Bemtalimanja, says the proposed audit was based on wrong assumptions, cited technologies that are not even used in Malawi's elections, and posed a threat to the security and integrity of the Commission's systems. MEC also argues that it had already flagged and shared all anomalies in the voters' register, including duplicate entries and photo mismatches with political parties during consultations. It adds that no party submitted any formal complaint or petition after being given the full register in May. The Commission insists it has a constitutional duty to operate independently, and says allowing an external audit without legal grounds would set a dangerous precedent. It has since resolved not to approve the audit, but says it will continue to carry out internal checks through its own mechanisms. What is your first thought, or what is coming into your mind when you hear this kind of news?
I think 2 things. Post-election bitterness and also MEC shielding itself from incompetence based on the last experience.
Okay.
Yes.
No, make me understand. I want to understand, because you've seen the basis why she is saying no to the request.
Yes. Okay. I think legally, MEC has made a valid point. But in any mamba kunena, I think sola samu nazani na kuti Malawi chimene chimachitika ndicho kuti njira imene inu ndine tinagwiritsa ntchito kwa abera asilike. Kenako inu ndi asilike mukaphatikiza. Mamba kopa njira
imene.
Aha.
Oh yeah. So let me say this. Okay, we should remember inende manena kuti nthawi nake ndinapanga post about MBC.
Yes.
Kuti kuonera MBC timachita kusinthana. You know, nthawi ina imazakomera kagulu kena kake,
nthawi ina
kinako ikukomeranso gulu lena ena amene ankayikonda MBC nthawi imene asiya kuonera. Okay, now even in the case of MEC, do you remember the time my Jenny answer was the chair of MEC?
Yes.
What was happening?
That was
okay. There are people calling for her head. We don't want Jenny Asa. No, it has been declined. We want it's meant to face it back. We want I think, and most of the times it's always the ruling party that is not complaining about what MEC.
That's what I'm saying.
It's always the opposition that is complaining about the
The funny thing about Malawi politicians is everything is okay until it doesn't profit them.
Yeah, man. I love that. I love that.
Everything in Malawi, whether kandi corruption, politicians are okay. Whether kandi is they are okay until they are victims of the same system they have been feeding on.
Of the system. You know what? Sometimes I try to understand when we had the MEC PRO here.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. People are complaining about Smartmatic.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me, don't you involve these stakeholders when you're making such a big decision? Because making a decision, we want to have a system the times of bank run elections. It's a big decision.
Big decision.
Because it involves those players. Don't you involve them?
And
he said, we do involve them, and nobody can lie to you. I want you to know, Sangwani Mafurura said that first here. Before any other media platform. We called them at the very early stage. You get it? And then you wonder, after being involved in everything, still at the end of the day, they're like, we don't like the machine. Just because of what you were saying.
It's not profiting them.
Could knowing you could and that also they've got chances of using
the same system.
So Manjiraina kuua wakwina kukuma kako nena kuti chani kweni.
Okay, ndizimene no kama kano ka jagoti. You know good these guys are capable of chakuti. If they are not exploiting it, nchifako kwa not I think ologa maitsara akumagamba machinery omata ameka kuno siru gwitsa nchito. How are you mentioning that?
Exactly. Oh yeah, man.
They know that. They're like siru gwitsa system minute. You see, so you mean that they were already thinking system is can we audit it? Check.
You're right.
So there is that side you know kuti post urgent electoral bitterness, but also MEC is also trying to shield itself as well.
No, but we have to understand kuti MEC imaendera elections regulations. So
regulation ijangatikwa apanga protect kuti there's nothing.
They're okay. Exactly.
Until you have a case.
That's why even when we go back to mlandu wa MEC women unachitika last time kuti mpaka zisankho zipangidwe nalifae and then we should go back again to vote. Okay? Amafuso kuti were you allowed to use this? They were like, no. Okay. So if the law doesn't allow you, it means you are not supposed to what? You're not supposed to
use
that. You get it? So it's enthusiastic enough for that because I'm afraid, okay, Tipex. Were you allowed to use Tipex? No. Okay.
Were you allowed to move for food?
Aye. What are you supposed to do, Mukalagwisa? We should cross it or what? Was that happening? No. Okay? It means something is wrong. You get it? But where the law allows you, panali nkhani yama commissioner. Nthawi manager kunali ma commissioner ambiri amene anali I think achipani chimodzi cholamula, but ma commissioner enawa analionena kuti anali achipani zina. And then there was like people were like, no, ma commissioner achipani cha DPP ndi ambiri. Lamulo limalowa mwakuti. But those things were not sorted out. Everybody was just like, no, so zidibino. So it's always the opposition parties that are crying. And nthawi zake zimazandidandaulisa kuti okay, so is it kuti the ruling party is always comfortable or like have confidence in themselves kuti we are gonna win? Kapena kuti kumakaonena kuti they are okay with how things are happening. Kapena kuti they have power to control what is happening inside.
The ruling power always has an advantage.
Always
has an upper hand. Because you discover kuti ku Malawi chipani chikasintha they would change anthu amene akukhala head wow. So they always has a more. It may not be the head, they may not be someone. They have an upper hand.
True.
So the opposition is aware because uzaona so you cannot trust politicians. They don't deal with so they are feeding information across, betraying this one is betraying this one. This one is betraying this one. So at the end of the day kumamba no zoti ngarantenga Ngozo. Ngozo is amataza kuti.
True. You're right. So but I love it kuti ineyo chipene ndimapempha kwambiri ndimapempha nena kuti MEC invested ma stakeholders. And my stakeholders includes these political parties that are competing in the elections. Chimene ndimafuna kwambiri, I don't want kuti after takavota, people should be coming kuti ati nakuza nuni pange zakuti koma simuna pange. Okay? But also, I think MEC, as I already said, kuti they've got Elections Act. where they will refer to when they're doing things. But if what they are doing is according to the act, I think the stakeholders also need to understand and accept kuti takanidwa ichi on the basis kuti act sikulola. So what should we do kuti izi zichitike ziteke? It means kuti we have to make sure kuti malamulo atu acha asinthe. You get it, right?
Yes.
Because malamulo has to be flexible. Kuti akhozo sintidwa. If people, because timapanga review malamulo. Okay, let's see. Is this working? Is this working? I think it's not working. So what can be the best thing? Let's change. There have been consultations. Kuti musinthe it. So inecho pene ndimafuna ndiyo kuti MEC it's investor. Komanso the stakeholders should listen and understand why MEC is making some kind of decision. Kuopa nena kuti pamawa adzakha kuti okay anatiuza inde sitinamvese mwina padzifukwa zathu koma zimene anatiuza zinali za malamulo. Komanso mwina anatikaniza koma anatikaniza on the basis of this sizinali za malamulo. Okay, so for me I would say kunena kuti much as MEC yakanize, but I would still wish MEC inakakhala kuti ikumamvera. Okay, and they are able to address those issues. Fapena zimadandaulis komanso achipani nawonso akwenera adziwe kunena kuti zisankho chimayendera malamulo. And the malamulo achisankho ali clear. So whenever MEC says no to something, they have to refer to the malamulo. And if they want to appeal, they have to appeal on the basis of malamulo. I think it will do us justice.
Also my sentiment. Yeah. Okay, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, because a lot of people ababa azipane ena la nkwa that's mathematic. Ai ena mpaka nafika mwenendo ai ku Mozambique zisankho zinasokonekera chifukwa cha zinthu zomwezi. And then MEC came out kuti did you find out kuti ku Mozambique anagwisa ntchito chani? They used the same manual.
And I think panopa kuli my fingerprints and stuff.
You get it? So they say kuti ku Mozambique they didn't use the system. So where are you getting the information? Ai kuchani kayamati ku Singapore kayamati chani anagwisa ntchito. MEC came out. Can you go find out?
I think it didn't based on sentiments and not facts.
Exactly.
And MEC is coming with facts and so if we are in breach of this, then we are open to audit.
And the problem kwambiri kumalawi kunoko is kuti we trust misinformation. We trust rumors. Nkhani zoti there are so many platforms on social media. I mean kuwerenga nkhani I'll be like, still people believe this? You get it, right? So because of that, platform manager madikalankhula chinthu, people be like, ndekuti ndizoonadi, ndekuti ndizomwezobe. But at the end of the day, people have to be responsible. Kubanga veti. Like people, you need to take your time.
There has to be an awareness.
Understand what does the law say? Kodi chinthu chiyende bwino, tikwena tipange bwanji. But at the end of the day, what we are looking for is a free and fair election. That's what we are asking for. I mean, I don't think it will be good. We are asking too much.
No.
To ask for free and fair election.
Bare minimum.
It's bare minimum. We just want our elections to be free. And we just want our elections to be fair. Aliasa amene akupanga contest, atipanga contest kuti akulandira information yofanana. You get it? Akupanga contest also we are being addressed whenever we like, present our grievances. Please help us. But when MEC decides to side with the Antwena, so as we head into elections, a lot is happening. And then we've been talking about my handouts.
Ash,
do you think
no, this is that. And I was checking that rate. Kuti mutakapezeka 10 million fine or 5 jail time.
And do you think that lamulo has been always there?
Okay, I think it was because I made a check about it. I think it was implemented in 2021.
2021?
Somewhere there.
Okay.
Now it's being enforced.
Okay, so before kunaribe.
Yes.
No, so handouts were like, okay.
It's a culture.
It's been a culture. And do you think we can just break it up?
Malawians will not. Malawians will not. iwe anthu amaluza ndale osati kuti munthu is not competent to become a leader but because he doesn't have cash.
True.
The one who has God rules.
Zimene timakambirana tsiku lijali unena kuti you find kuti people are like competent, they know their craft, kumadziwa zoti munthu witu ndo
awawa amadziwa
chimene akuluza ati ndoumira amene usamagawa ndalama.
It's sad.
Oh man.
And that's something that is even general across the board, relationships. Ma leadership ita mudzi momwemu.
Ngati ulibe mane. Ndekuti basi.
So that has been a culture in Malawi. And apatse ndalama, they'll keep quiet. Panganiza kuti they'll keep quiet. And this is not even just our voter because or even amene akuyimirirawa, they are also getting handouts from somewhere.
Man. Oh yeah. Ma 1 billion aja. So you can see kunena kuti there's a linkage.
Yes.
Munkhani izizi. Okay? Mavota akufuna
handouts.
Uyuyu osaka mavoti
akukasaka
handouts pena pake.
And we have heard a president napita kuti makapempha chithandizo. It's a culture.
Oh yeah.
It's a culture.
Oh bruh, you just dropped that.
So you can't just come today because from the state president akumapanga matukutu kuti demakakupempherani. So when people are also coming to the state president akapempha
true.
So it's that culture that has been ingrained in us and kuti chichoke it will take time.
Because you're always indebted to someone who gives you something.
Trust me.
You get it? Because I think our dependence on UK, kenako when there was a moment whereby timakanga tikumalandira kwambiri ku China, it affected our relationship with UK. You get it?
Yes.
Because now also even operekawo ali pa mpikisano wopanga control.
It's that. Or even slave trade worked like that. They wouldn't really penetrate the local person because they were strong. So they had to buy you. Buy the locals.
I buy
That's what happens. Malawi ideology. Ama ndimabwera ine uko emiro president indi. Uzoa jani. I think it is ivomereza is. With the money I give you, you keep the lions here. Then you take this ukapa tangamba kwela. Uzoa jani izizitira zivomereza.
You're right, man.
So it's a chain reaction. So as much as yapangidwa enforce kuma voters, what about our kulandira? So mapate funding aja, they have to be transparent as well.
We talked about that. We talked about that. We've been
mukenda no kudziwa kuti koda campaign akupangira kusirengera kuti because izizi ndama sizokenopitirira kuti ukuku. So there has to be transparency from our kuyimirirawa amalawi ndisapatse ndalama. But at the same time amene akuyimirirawa ndalama akuzitenga kuti so they have to declare their assets as well. Because inengati net worth yanga ndi 10 million. Mukamve kuti during nthawi yachisankho ndaononga about 100 million. You have to ask me now. Kodi this deficit ya 90 ikuchokera kuti.
I mean, okay, so apapo it means kuti tikukonza kunsonga ukuku kwa vuto.
Bas. Osati uku.
So
necessarily kukonza vuto. We are just trying to save face.
Because at the end of the day awakhala ndi ndalama kumatsiwa nazo kopita.
Ziyenda banje.
Sinanga kulandira ndalama. Demo alesa ma handouts ukuku kuti don't give handouts. It means kuti ndalama ziyangukhala nazo aziswa nazo kopita.
And panopa iwe you have been in a business market space. You discover kuti anthu achita kudzoti nthawi yazisankho business iyenda bwino kwambiri.
True.
So people anticipating whatever comes after the elections tipanjetu ndalama apapa. Where is that money coming from? Because definitely ukalondolondola anthu andale pakali panalibe ndalama.
They don't have
money. Has to come somewhere.
They don't have money. We were talking about it last week. Do you know kuti a rally cost millions? A rally at Masinta, a rally at what? At Katoto, a rally at Njamba Freedom Park.
Yes.
These are like, major grounds.
Major grounds.
Anasazisa Masinta. Anasazisa Njamba. Do you know that rally kuti ikafika poti yateka choji, it takes more than 30 million kwacha. It takes more than that. You get it? And then we don't ask necessary questions.
We don't. I think we are so struggling in Malawi. When people feed you, you keep quiet. Don't bite a finger that has fed you. Me, I say that's a lie. You understand? You have to understand what the finger that is feeding you. Is it feeding you for you to be okay? It's just feeding you to a slaughter.
For their own interest also.
Because in Malawi, we are fed for a slaughter. So, eventually, they were buying us.
They're buying something.
We have sold our lands. We have sold our minerals.
I've always said, Scooty, aid that we've been receiving. It's not aid. It's not aid. It's good. I am building this road for you. You should not ask me questions.
Stadium inamangidwa hii. How many materials have entered in Malawi by Chinese? Kumanina kula akapanga repair stadium which is not being repaired.
Yeah, man. You know, I wonder how people would say, it's where Atipangira China. No one does it for free. There's nothing that is for free. You pay at a certain point.
And when you receive the money, you don't know what is it for. You'd pay double or even 100-fold what it was supposed to be for. Because in the over 100,000 today, and you don't know why I've given you that money. You should understand. It would be 100-fold.
Yeah, true, man.
So these are guys, they're giving us handouts. We don't even know. There's something that I'm selling. I don't know it yet.
Nobody can just give you that amount of money, Brad.
And the sad thing is, the politicians will give us money from the office of politics. That means they don't have a liability about it.
They don't, man.
Because if they will deal with the consequences, Malawi, we are indebted. Commando debt has been accumulated over the years, and in Namas made majas. That's and they're giving us now substandard work because I'm an campaign. They're contract.
And you don't check them. You don't check if they are giving you the quality that you want or not, because at the end of the day they'll be like, we are trying.
That's why I'm saying 200 million. Contract 10 billion. And you give you something 50 million. You can't check them.
You can't check, you can't ask them. I mean, it's difficult. I like it the way you said which does not have any impact on the bigger picture problem that we have. And it's sad because tina account tukupanga enforce iyi ya ma handouts ndikupanga so enforce unena kuti we need a clear law that is working. Unena kuti parties will be declaring their finances, parties will be declaring their donations, where they are getting their money from. You know, because we want to tackle a problem imene ikupanga affect the whole nation. Okay, but then when you say we no handouts, and then it's difficult. I mean,
it's a chain reaction. It's bigger than just mwina umuntu wakumudzi. And umuntu wakumudzi is not. It doesn't care about manifesto. Last time but I'm telling you, amemapereka matumba amene ajawa anthu ena akakudyetso ine ndinamva mbasi uyoyo kaya mukunena kuti chani matumba awiri ampunga.
You see, so whatever that he's doing or whatever that the law can be talking about the person, as long as people panopa ndoti misonkhano, there was a video wina akanachita kwa imisa anthu panzeri bwera anthu mwatenga ndalama 5,000 t-shirt 5,000, and we know kuti misonkhano yambiri muti kumayiona misonkhano kaya kupangisa chipani chanji anthu they pocket money apart from ndalama zimene zimapita kuti takonzekera msonkhano. There is a lot of millions that has been splashed out there. Kungo pasu anthu matupini ndewe yangane pa songano ndi pabwera anthu 2,000 werenge matupini pabwera anthu 5,000 werenge matupini ndi anthu angati ni ndalama zingati. At the end of the day there's a cycle, and
that is just keeping on happening,
and we can't just break it. And we are going into elections. This is like what? This is June. July, August, September. Oh man, we're that close.
That's why people are desperate.
Oh brah, we're that close, man. And it means kuti pompano tiambano kumfasa ma running mate. Tiambano kumfasa ma alliances, of which we have already started hearing.
And I've already heard people in bed.
Yo, they're discussing.
UTM and the Ford.
They're discussing. Okay, let's see. I say we've got MCP.
Yes.
We've got zibane zambiri mbiri.
Yes.
Zibane zinazoti tinene chilungamo sizimakhala ndi influence sizimakhala ndi impact pa like on the elections on a larger scale. Okay, but let's be honest, let's cite zipani zimene tikuziwa kuti zipani zili ndi anthu. Okay, mwina like 500,000 kumapita okay 200,000 kumapita. Okay, so we've got MCP.
Yes.
We've got DPP, we've got UTM, we've got PP, we've got UDF.
Yes.
Okay? Is there any other party?
Afford winner.
Yeah.
Because afford winner
it's been there.
Yes.
Though it's like kind of based ku malo amozi.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have like structures. You get it, right? But we can put it there. Major five. Are they 5 or 6?
6,
Yeah, MCP, DPP, UTM, UDF, PP, afford.
Oh, yes.
You get it, right?
Yes.
Like, these are 6.
Yes. Why in my not 5 uyundika side.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. What kind of combination are you seeing here in terms of alliance? Let's be honest.
At the end of the day, I feel like the rest are gonna gang up against MCP.
Yeah.
Because that's the only stand they have.
Yeah.
Okay, ineko Malawi ni manena kuti I'm not a political person kuti ndoji party yakuti.
Yeah.
I think there has been now imbalance of power with the passing of the VP.
Yeah.
Because by that there was that healthy balance. There was that balance. So I think removing one person off the board, we not say wants a piece of the pie.
Yeah, true.
So ulawa akakhala uzimva kuti awanda amene akufuna wawo ayimire. Awanda amene akufuna wawo ayimire. So ndiziyazinga chitika last time zika MCP ndi UDF ikupanga partner igwetse DPP. Kenako before the elections awukira naso. So there will be more of these issues.
Okay. I think the way I'm seeing it.
Yes.
It's so difficult. You know, okay. So there are mapates zote sakulankhula pada kalipano.
Yes.
Okay, there's MCP.
Yes.
They've always said we are ready to work with anybody who comes.
Yes.
And they know for some reasons they will not attract people like to come to them.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
We've got DPP. Who looks like an angel.
Yes.
Because we remember good people ganged up for them.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So now they're like, they'll be looking to like unite with DPP.
Yeah.
So DPP, Iriabo, previously, they went to elections with UDF.
Yes.
It's not looking like they are still the same.
Okay.
It's not looking like that.
I think Malawi are too greedy.
Yeah.
Everyone else has their own interest or even alliances.
But bruh, I can tell you, Kuti, there's a silent beef between UDF and DPP.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying.
It dates back to 2005.
I'm winning.
If you don't know that, it dates back to 2005. UDF found themselves in opposition benches just in an overnight.
I'm winning.
Niggas were in ruling party.
But
just overnight, boom.
Kuti, what have you done?
Opposition.
What have you done?
Bruh, you just don't know.
and that's a risk in Malawi. Alliances don't hold.
Yeah.
It's not even only in politics. You'd see that in companies. There's so much divisions. So that's what happened.
You know, I can say, Kuti, Mwina people have forgotten, but I know the people that were involved have not forgotten.
I know.
I'm telling you.
People don't forget.
And you know the reason why they pushed for that alliance in 2019, that could have been a comeback. I always say that.
Yeah.
That could have been a comeback for UDF.
Yeah.
You know, when APM was like the torchbearer, and then there was Atupere Muluzi as like the running mate. Okay. I say it meant to Kuti UDF were like, man,
we're back.
We're back.
We are back, baby.
We're back. I don't want to say something, but I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I say beefy manager yodi anacho some boma to the nali mboma, not on ballot. I say uma zwazo duka chuka pa ballot into
uma vetsetsa kura ndikuluza.
Ndaluza.
Koma
but you know I won.
Tilintika.
Chipani changa china wina ndilinkati.
Anangura watsekula changa.
You are outside. Ash man. So I'm telling you, Kuti, whatever alliance that was coming in between UDF and DPP, it was not real.
Yeah.
It was for an agenda.
Yeah.
You get it? And the agenda was not Malawi.
That's why I'm saying Guri Malawi, we are so greedy. It's just that Guri, I think the victim always becomes the common
Malawian.
Yeah. Because these guys will gang up and you believe with my guy to grow
it.
Only to discover we not
Okay, so there's that alliance, and then we're dating back to 2019 where we had the Tonse Alliance.
Yeah.
That was led by the MCP, UTM, Kunadi Zipandi Zambi Mbida 40. So in that alliance, the main alliance partners were MCP and UTM.
Yeah.
So UTM had their own allies, and then MCP so Anadison de Malai. Okay, so together they formed of which UTM complained could they feel could they were used and then they never got what they expected.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. I've always said I don't understand, but anyway, it happened. Now, UTM I wouldn't afford our Gambirana.
Yeah.
I have to be honest with you. The main players in this game still remains MCP and DPP.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. You have to pick a side.
You have to pick a side.
This is me saying.
Okay. It's not even you saying. It's Menezidi. These are the major two.
But the problem is, I know the UTM people will come after me. I know after this. I know they will throw me, I know. But the reality on the ground is the two key players in these elections are MCP and DPP. And you have to pick a side. Whoever wants to be the other key, I'm going to say
yeah.
We have to be honest.
I think they could have been three. UTM was strong because of a man, not as a political party.
You're right.
It takes time for a political party to sink in.
You're right.
So I think the passing of Eugene Chirima okay, UTM is relevant, but the man was bigger than the party.
Yeah, and we're not just saying this.
Yeah.
There's a basis.
Yeah.
So, sometimes back, Winiko.
Yeah.
Anane na nguti. Chipani cha UTM ndichapa Facebook ndichapa social media chilibe ma structures and it's that he said even when the president was alive.
Yeah.
You get it?
It hasn't sink into
Exactly. And I'm telling you, people have to understand that this is not hate. You know, the indicators to this are when they were voting convention. They had like up to 800 delegates. One of said, do you know what my delegates are? My delegates, these are the structures that are kumaboma.
Yeah.
One of said,
yeah.
So go to MCP, DPP. DPP had over 1,500 delegates, almost half, almost 2 times.
Yeah.
MCP had almost 1,400 something delegates. Okay, it means at a district there's a whole structure. But district there's a structure, kuma constituency there's a structure, kuma area zimasika mpaka kufika kuwodi structures.
And you already know abomazori chipani
chakadzikika. You get it? So by saying Ikuti, UTM doesn't have structures to make themselves compete against these two.
Yeah.
We're not talking out of hate.
Aye.
We are talking out of what is happening.
Statistics and facts.
Yes.
The backing of this is there is more to this thing.
Exactly.
I think surface.
You see? So UTM has to fight that and also has to face the reality that they are just bringing someone who was never into the party and now is in the party, and they have to make people know him, love him, and believe in him.
Which takes time.
It takes time. Bruh, what Chidima did in a year, nobody can do that.
Okay,
I'll tell you.
And that man will go down in history.
Kumalawi kunogo. When they said, Kumalawi kunogo. If we go kukwina kwake, I'll tell you the other person who did that, but also he was experienced.
Yeah.
Jacobo Zuma was experienced.
Yeah. He was a veteran.
That's why he went into elections with a new party, going with like 3 million votes.
Out.
You get it? Muntu wone nakuti anali kunja. And like wachoka chipani cholamula wakayamba chipani chake, okay, ndikupeza wapeza mavoti oposa so zipani zina zoti has been there. And kumalawi kunoko, I'm telling you, is it samana mezane zuzana chilungamo?
Yeah.
We are choosing between, and even we're choosing between MCP and DPP. everybody else akungoyenera asankhe mbali yotata
kuti kodi tipanga line ndi
ndani and akuyenera avomereze kuti ifeyo sitinafikepo.
Yeah.
Achina Ford, achina UTM, achina PP, achina UDF. PP, UDF, they should accept kuti nthawi yawo inatha.
Yeah. They had a good run. Yeah, they had a good run. Koma right now mazamba kuona amazanga kunikira nthawi ya ujeni no.
Yeah. You see?
Okay.
You see? So we can be we have to be honest here. MCP, DPP, these are the main parties that will stand out there. Because even kaya maiko ena wajina ku UK ku America kusuri kumakha kuti kuli bezibani zambiri. Kumakha kuli zibani zambiri. But at the end of the day, you know, Republicans
and
Democrats, these are the two.
These are two.
The two.
Ndipo it took me time ndikaganza kuti
kuli zibani ziwiri.
Pamene kadzakamba kuzindikira
kuti kumakhala soti antudina. You get it, eh?
Yeah.
Antudina todo mavoti awo samafika so 5 million. And you're talking about chiziko choti chili ndi millions of people. You get it, eh? So kumala kunoko we have to accept.
Yeah.
So ajina atupere, ajina kabambe, Joyce Banda, wina ndani. Afford in the timati ndani Chihana. Eh? These are the people that just have to see who am I going with.
Then azikapala
moto when ajina ndani na nkhumwa.
Azipala moto kumene ku.
These are not the people that can go and win. They have to accept that fact.
I figured kuti I think in Malawi we don't want a piece of 1 million.
Yeah.
We want full of 10.
Full of 10. Yeah.
So we want to measure in minors.
Yeah.
And okay, you can say guys, inundine tentipange. Tikatere inendizi yaka posho nakaka. Koma ndikakaja ndeka, ndikaja anthu 100. Because umapita pa constituency munthu akupeza poka ndatatu.
Imagine.
Akana kaura na imira ukuja.
Hour.
Kutere ndipanga iso. You build an image.
Exactly. So what I'm saying here, tanenakale, nde tibwereze sonena kuti there's possibility. Okay, UTM and Ford agreezana kale. Chances of UTM going to DPP are there. Of course, anachoka kumweko are there. Mwina atakubwerera poti papita nthawi. PDP ana nkhumwa. Chances of him going back to DPP very low. Before wangochoka pompano. Okay.
There were still submissions.
You know. So chances of him going back, I doubt. Uyu ndamene mwina MCB angakhalira zikakambirana naye kuti bra tabwera kuno, you know. Afford UTM akambirana kale. Nde kula china PP, kula china Petra, kula china Mafunde, kula china ndani. Kuli ena president onena kuti sakudziwika komwe that they are confident enough kuti
do these guys get funding or because sometimes I don't get it.
They do, bruh. They do. I feel like that's what gives them, like, you know, confidence. We can be there, but at the end of the day, bruh, we have to be honest. This one is with this.
Who are we gonna side with?
I mean, tikugwirizana manifesto athu. I mean, zifundo zathu zikuoneka ngati zikugwirizana. Pena kumala kuno sitima indira mfundo timangoenda tikudana ni ndani.
Okay. Kumalawi or even mene ngazachitika UTM alliance, it was okay. Ife ndine tigwirizane timpange this one.
Yeah, it's not about kuti mfundo zathu zikufanana.
I think lena nomba mene mazamba usayani
Nkana ndo masambirana manje. Chakuti unkalonjesa ndini. Amene munatipelekesa ndini faizi munkanena ndini. You see?
And how we or even zangwe zimezi mabwera. If Chilima was alive, akana zamba. Zije zamba ngandaja we. I'm telling you, akanamba kuti inesisi mandikuta anandikazika pa bench anandiyanda mphamvu. It's
because that's what ayute mama nena pano. Kuti simene zoti fesini kapanga nawo nde chimene chimandida bwisa makauti pakakhala chituko china chake watu anali pasogolo pakakhala flop IMCP. My God.
Malawi politics.
Let's be honest. So but yeah, that's it. But I think as we are going to elections, we know kuti cholinga chake at the end of the day we are looking at putting into government a political party that will serve the interest of Malawians. Okay, and the Malawians muli achinyamata, muli anthu okalamba, muli ana. There are a lot of people out there. But I think we can lastly talk about the youth because they are forming a bigger chunk of votes. Okay, youth are forming a bigger chunk in the two. You want to know what it's a decider. It's a decide.
I think this in the history of Malawi, this is the first time something like this is happening.
Yeah, I think Mbuyomu, it's been women,
the old,
women, Komano Panova. I think the youth, it's a big chunk, and I'm saying that because there are a lot of issues that are surrounding the youth.
Yeah.
A lot of issues to do with unemployment.
Yeah.
That's number one, the big one. Yeah. Okay, and the other one is always okay. We are not going to get jobs.
Yeah.
What will be of us now?
Yeah.
Okay, because recently I think the National Youth Council of Malawi, Amadanda Ula, there's not been proper channels to fund the startups, to fund ideas. Okay, because they're saying this prior to the launch of 2 billion wacha. Okay, about 2 billion tabanga support. I don't know what have been your take in terms of youth, in terms of innovations, in terms of startups. Do you think the youths have been like aligned for help in cabinet? It has always been political.
I think this is a political illusion, as much as it's something that can profit still. One even said you cannot 100% bash it out.
Yeah, true.
But at the end of the day, I don't expect you. I need to find a better example. Okay, mwana wako sunga kamuze kuri gali morondi kadzipira kunjinji usana mpozitse kuendetsa
kale. You
understand?
True.
I think the youth, there is something that has to be major. The youth have to be empowered from school wise, from trade works, the technical colleges, community colleges. I think that is an inlet yabu ino yopanga fund the youth. Unlike ungo kani ndama zimene zidzipita based on political affiliations, we already know the story in Malawi.
Yeah, we already.
But if you go in technical colleges, ukapeza mafana oti kupanga zima maize shellers. And I know my word as mulongo technical, usoji technical, akupanga zo solera ja. Chima, you go wa nyamara ngara menati. Ukapeza nyamara kupanga aqua fish chanchani kaja. Where they are raising fish in ma ponds. Okay, you understand? You start funding these things strategically. Komano tikangobwera ni ndama nkungonoti tigawire ma startups. Which startups?
I think I love the part where you're saying, Kuti, we have to be strategic.
Very strategic.
Because for a long time, it has always been, Kuti, prior to elections.
This
is happening.
Because this was not even supposed to...
This is easy if this was an initiative that was started, for example, in 2020.
5 years ago.
You get it, right?
You now have a track record.
Yeah.
Tinapeleka 2 billion.
Yes.
Within half of this year already.
Yeah.
Now to kuibangali new.
Yeah.
Because if you started now.
It goes back to identifying what are the things that are out there that our youths can be trained in. Okay? Looking at how the world is like evolving.
Is evolving.
And okay, there are issues to do with technology. There are issues to do with the climate change. We can't dispute that. That will affect the agriculture side of everything. And then you sit down and see, okay, school year 2. How many people? We are graduating a lot of people into the job market each and every year. I think for the past months, almost we won't say people are graduating. People are graduating. So you can see the job market, it's
saturated already.
Yes, ndeti kuisazisaso. But tiribe ndondomeko yonena kuti okay, kodi anthu amene muli pamene mu job market, what skills do you have that can help you? I will not look for employment. To be able to fund this investment. Because I'm telling you, I think it's a very little percentage and amajoka ku school and do something on their own. Out of maybe 100 that are graduating, some are going to 10. And 90% are on the job market looking for jobs. But sometimes it's I can say it's kind of it comes from frustration. Okay, even if we have like an innovation, it's not like it's gonna be funded.
It's not okay, and even to be funded, it's also a struggle. It's also a struggle. I think I think the way to go are the trade schools for Malawi. Because what sells in Malawi it's agriculture. And Malawi is a developing country as well.
It is,
meaning we have more room to build infrastructures. We have more room to innovate power grids and everything. Now, Tindaji Nyamara, many they are being trained in this region. I think that's where we can follow through. Or even Mbumba, it stands to benefit. I think there was a time in Germany or Burkina Faso, I don't know how true it was. Kura matenga ma convicts, mukumaga gwitsa nchilo ma farms. You understand? They don't have to be convicts. achinyamata tikuchoka kuno kumapita ku Israel ukagwira ntchito kumunda.
Ndani uyu Timothy Ntabo was here. He talked about these things kuti anthu achabweza akachoka ku skulu akumapita pena pake kukaphunzira
internship zake Ngozo mwamaliza mudapanga chana ndapanga electrical installation. Okay, tikutenga upita ku mega farm yakuti uzikapanga run maintenance. Even if it's internship, you are learning something on the higher scale. Amwene mukupanga chana ndamaliza ndi mapanga plumbing. Okay, fine. Boma likumanga zakuti achinyamata amene akupanga graduate kuno mukatenga first floor inu mukatenga second floor.
True.
So there are these things that we can create jobs within kuno ndema funding ajano umamba nokuzoti the exceptions now you give them funding. Mabata funding hour, they work like this.
They will employ other people.
They go there.
Yeah, true.
So the funding can be traced.
We
don't
trace, man. That's why I've been talking about nkhani za kunifi chanchani. You know kuti mbuyo mutakhato mapeza utapanga write off kuti anthu tinango ngoza 5 billion ka 10 billion itakhuluka akaniza kubweza. It's not like kuti amakhaluta akaniza. But you didn't have like proper strategy how you can follow your money or get your money back. And I always say kuti if that money was given to a bank pakano panopa kodi bank yanji manager, is it National Bank? And ka FDH kaya adi aika kandi 100 billion imene afuna kupanga jani afuna kupanga support like my innovations and all that, you know, that 100 billion and it's an investment. Whenever said they are looking at 5-10 years, it's not going to be 100 billion. And because it's a bank, they will not even afford it to have like 10 billion written off. They will not.
They will follow every penny.
Because from the word go, agama kupasa ndalama, they would have kuona. Idea it's marketable. It can work. You get it? Because sometimes if you have an idea or you have like an innovation or a business, one investor is this idea marketable? Tiwina nayo. Do you watch my programs in Agayamati Lions Janchani, Lions 10 Kayamati Chani, where kumakama business person?
Yes, I know. They pitch.
I
can scale it like this.
Exactly. So those people are paid. Okay, how much can I? Is this marketable?
And lives are changed.
Exactly. You get it? Because you say your idea and then our account the experience in the business. They will look into the idea that
agenda. Nitapita kukaika kuzolozolo.
Kubanga pump 1 billion. Ndizaja nayo. You get it? So even the investor will not just come and invest the money. They need to understand the business. They need to see, because they are investing their money in it. They need to see. So even the government itself, agamapeleka malonia. Amanena zona the business and matter. Mukutani. Are you registered? How is your business? Okay, so we're gonna give you 5 million. We're gonna give you like 10 million.
I think there was a time nikafuna banga na uzanifi. The time they taparikizana. They widangana tuzura magai. Nizimufuna banga. If you don't have a political affiliation, simura. Even though your business,
so it's not about the idea.
It's
not about what it goes. So that's another angle.
If we can vet it like that in the Gwamba Guzori Ajinyamara Ratandize Jonchi, but at the same time they need to have also mentors and people that are
you're right.
That can follow through.
You're right.
Kuli ujen funding amari atone umelu. I'm about $5,000.
Yeah.
Koma, you have mentors, you have gone intensive training.
You are reporting. You're reporting on it. Like and people are checking on you.
You have 6 months of training.
Okay.
You have about 6 months, class after class. Then I say 5,000. Now you have a mentor you report to.
Imagine that. Because even if those people they tell you could 5,000 to funa uzabweze, because of the training they've given you, I mean you cannot fail.
And because of these seasoned mentors that are okay, business equals a scale like this. Okay, let's do this. Komando tindaji nyamara many many zezoto wambatsa gai moroka dzivira kunjinji koma simunandani simunaputsa gari.
So okay. So yes, the issues have been about funding innovations, but also there are so many important areas that we
have to look at.
It's because at the end of the day, it's not just about giving someone money. It's about like teaching them. It's about like monitoring them. How are they doing? It's not like okay, I'm telling you that cannot work. Let's see the innovations.
And I think Agula too, so that they have to understand something. kunena kuti just because something works in Senegal doesn't mean it will
Yeah,
work in
it doesn't mean,
Malawi. These are
true.
two different urgent places. Now you have to find out how do we cater it to Malawian youth. Innovation yaku Malawi, what can sell? Because Mwina app development can work in India but cannot work in Malawi. Mwina, the app development that can work in Malawi, Mwina the house agent. Mwina ndio sagira maganyu maleba. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
As much as ena age mwina ukulisa zintu machine. Kuma Malawi mwina singa kale ya jonchi. Kuma Malawi kozo kale ya jonchi.
You're right.
So even the innovations that have to be funded, they just don't have to look good on paper, but they have to be practical.
Practical on Malawi. Yeah, true. I love that. I mean, we want to see a country where the youth are empowered. Empowered in the sense of osadi kuti nkhani zandale. These are initiatives odi sakwena dzibwera prior to elections. These are initiatives that have to be there. Tizikhala tikuzwa zoti chaka ndi chaka kumakhala kandi 5 billion kandi 10 billion funding innovations. Chaka ndi chaka kumakhala kandi this amount of money funding innovations in agriculture, in whatsoever, because we know kuti it's a problem. It's not a problem that has just been there today. The youths have been unemployed from like 2 decades ago.
And my politicians shouldn't find manifesto thing over and over again.
We want change. And we want the youth, the innovations should be funded, and we should be able to follow them properly. We are able to get something out of that, because a large chunk of this population is the youth. And by investing in the youth, it means we are investing in the future, and we are drawing a picture of what we want our future to be like as a country.
Very.
Oh man, I love this space. I love this space, and I love the responsibility that we have.
I think they would feel like we just talk for the sake of ranted, but these are things that are affecting real people and the nation, and whether we like it or not. There was a day on the 20th May was my birthday, and I didn't celebrate it because I think it humbled me. The age I was turning, I realized I'm not a kid anymore.
Right,
and I'm like, okay, people are looking up to me. When issues arise, now they are going through life depressed because they feel unaccomplished. And we cannot help each and every person. This becomes a mindset. When your mindset changes, until a man changes his thinking, his state will not change. And if his state will not change, the state will not change. So that's what we are doing here. We are becoming catalysts of information. We can think like this. We can think like this. Not everyone is going to agree with us, and that's okay. But at the same time, those who can will carry the torch, light another person,
And we know, little by little, by and by, we are contributing to a change. One mindset change, it means as you have said, they are lighting up a torch, and then in the long run, and that's what we want, because what we are looking forward to is to a nation that is informed, a nation that is aware of their responsibility, because sometimes we've got citizens that don't understand what their responsibilities are in the country that they are living, and we are here. And we take this humble or noble responsibility. We are here and we do this. This is a major meeting. It's been lovely having you here. And Ngozo, shout out to you, man.
Thank you, man. The friend of the show.
Yeah. It was good, man. It was good to have you. I mean, I was always looking forward to this moment where I would have you here, because I always listen when you're behind the camera and you're contributing to this show. Guys, like, subscribe, and share and follow us everywhere you can follow us. I mean, Sleeker was here. In this images meeting, Sleeker is the AI director.
AI director?
He was here. Ngozo, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Cardinal Henry was here. We don't know what's coming next week, but it's going to be fire as well. Otherwise, we're out, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.